All right, let's talk about Ansible. In just the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful automation tools out there. If you've ever wished you could just press a button and have all your servers set up perfectly, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's get into it. So let me ask you a question. Are you sick of doing these same manual steps every single time you spin up a new server? Installing this, configuring that, restarting some service. It's not just boring, it's slow, and one little typo can ruin your whole afternoon. That exact headache is what Ansible is built to solve. Here's our game plan. We're going to start with Ansible's secret sauce, then meet its 3 core components. After that, we'll get it installed, run our very first command, write a simple automation script, and wrap it all up with some key terms and pro tips. Ready? Let's go. Okay, first up, probably the single biggest reason people fall in love with Ansible. It's what we call agentless. This is what makes it so incredibly simple and powerful right from the get-go. So what does agentless actually mean? Well, it's simple. You don't have to install any special little programs or agents on the servers you want to manage. Ansible just talks to them using standard everyday tools like SSH and Python. And guess what? Most servers already have those. The benefit here is huge. Way less setup, less to maintain, and a whole lot fewer things that can go wrong.
Now, before we automate anything, we gotta understand the 3 key players in the Ansible world. Once you get these 3 ideas, everything else just clicks into place.
First, there's the control mode. This is just the computer. Could be your laptop, could be another server, where you actually install Ansible. Just think of it as your command center, your mission control. It's the one place you'll run all your automation from. Next up, we have the managed nodes. These are simply the targets of your automation. They're all the remote servers, the devices, the things you want to configure. Ansible reaches out from your control node to these guys to get the work done. So how does your command center know which servers to talk to? That's where the inventory comes in, and it's nothing fancy. It's just a simple text file that lists all the IP addresses of your servers. Honestly, the best way to think of it is just a contact list for your entire setup. All right, enough theory. Let's roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty. It is time to install Ansible and create that super important inventory file. Installing Ansible is actually surprisingly easy. It's almost always just a single command, whether you're on a Linux box or a Mac using something like Homebrew. And remember, you only have to do this once on your control node. That's it. Okay, once it's installed, you create your inventory file. Just look at this example. It's plain text, super readable. And see those headings in the brackets? That's how you organize your servers into logical groups. This becomes a real superpower later when you want to run a command on, say, just your web servers. Okay, Ansible's installed, our inventory is ready. It's time for the magic moment. We're about to run our very first command and actually make contact with our servers. Now, this is what's called an ad hoc command. I know it looks a little intimidating at first, but it's just a simple one-line instruction for doing a quick task. Let's break down exactly what's happening here. So what's it all mean? Well, all tells Ansible, hey, run this on every single server you know about. The I part just points it to our hosts.ini inventory file, and mping tells it to use the built-in ping module. Now, this isn't a normal network ping, it's Ansible's way of saying, hello, are you there and are you ready for me to manage you? It's basically the hello world of automation. So those one-off commands are great for quick checks, but the true, repeatable, set it and forget it power of Ansible, that comes from something called a playbook. This is where you actually turn your infrastructure into code. Here's the most important thing to get. A playbook is just a text file. That's it. Think of it like a recipe or a to-do list for your servers. You write it in this really simple, human-readable format called YAML, and in it, you just describe the state you want things to be in, like, I want this web server software to be installed and running. Let's look at this simple playbook here. Right at the top, you can see it's targeting the web servers group from our inventory file. Then, under Tasks, it lists out the steps. First, make sure the Apache package is installed. Second, make sure the Apache service is started. See how you're not telling it how to do it? You're just declaring what the end result should be. And running the playbook? It's just as simple. Instead of the Ansible command, you use Ansible Playbook. Point it to your inventory file and tell it the name of your playbook. That's it. Ansible takes it from there and makes it happen. Wow. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, so let's do a quick-fire recap of the most important terms, and I'll leave you with a few pro tips for your journey. So these are your core building blocks. A module is a tool for a specific job, like installing software. A task is just a single action that uses a module. A play is a set of tasks that you run on your servers, and independency. I know, it's a big word, but the idea is simple. You can run the same playbook 100 times, and it will only make a change if something isn't right. It never breaks what's already working.
And here are 3 tips that will absolutely save you from future headaches. First, set up SS keys. It'll stop you from having to type passwords all the time. Second, use the -check flag. This does a dry run and shows you what Ansible would change without actually doing anything. And finally, and this is the #1 rookie mistake, YAML is all about indentation. Always use 2 spaces. Never use tabs. Trust me on this one.
And there you have it. In just a few minutes, you've gone from 0 to running your first real automation playbook. You now have the fundamental building blocks to stop repeating yourself and start automating everything. So the only real question left is, what are you going to automate first?